Love is a word that carries different meanings for each person. It is both the simplest of feelings and the most complex of experiences. When we speak of love, especially a man's love, we are not just talking about romantic gestures or poetic declarations. We are delving into something deeper, a realm where actions speak louder than words, where the unspoken is as significant as the spoken. A man's love is often quiet, steady, and persistent. It does not always shout from the rooftops. Sometimes it whispers in the everyday moments, in the choices made and in the subtle signs that may go unnoticed if we are not paying close attention. One of the first and most telling signs of a man's love is his presence. When a man loves you, he is there, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. His presence is not about mere proximity. It is about connection. He shows up fully in your life, making time and space for you, regardless of the demands on his schedule. This kind of presence is not forced. It is a natural expression of his affection. He wants to be with you not out of obligation, but because he genuinely enjoys your company and values your connection. Presence is about more than just being there during the good times. It is about being present during the hard times, the challenging moments, when it would be easier to walk away. When a man loves you, he stands by your side through thick and thin, offering support and comfort when you need it most. He listens without distraction, giving you his undivided attention, because he knows that being fully present is one of the greatest gifts he can give. It is a sign that he values you and wants to share in every part of your life, not just the highlights. In a world filled with distractions, a man's presence is a rare and precious thing. It shows his commitment, his willingness to prioritize you above other things that might vie for his attention. When he is with you, he is not half-hearted or preoccupied. Instead, he is engaged, attentive, and connected. This kind of presence creates a sense of safety and belonging, a feeling that you are seen and valued for who you truly are. Moreover, his presence is not just about what he does when he is with you, but also about how he carries you with him when you are apart. He thinks of you throughout his day, checks in to see how you are doing, and remembers the little things you mention. This kind of presence transcends physical distance. It is a sign of a deeper emotional bond, one that goes beyond the surface level of mere affection. Ultimately, a man's love is measured by his presence. It is the steady, unwavering assurance that he is there, that he will continue to be there, even when it is difficult. It is in the way he shows up consistently, time and time again, that his love is made manifest. It is not about grand gestures or elaborate expressions, but about the quiet, constant act of being fully present with you no matter what. A true sign of a man's love is his willingness to sacrifice. Love is not just about what we can gain, but also about what we are willing to give up for the sake of another. When a man loves, he is willing to put aside his own needs, desires, and even comfort to ensure your happiness and well-being. This kind of sacrifice is not forced or reluctant. It comes naturally from a place of deep care and affection. It is an unspoken language of love that says, "Your happiness matters to me more than my own." Sacrifice in love is not about grand, dramatic gestures. It often shows up in the small, everyday choices a man makes. It is in the way he changes his plans to accommodate yours, the way he listens to you even when he is exhausted, and the way he goes out of his way to do something special for you, simply because he knows it will make you smile. It is in these moments that his love shines through, not in what he says, but in what he does. Without being asked, this kind of sacrifice is not self-deprivation. It is a joyful exchange. When a man loves you, he finds fulfillment in your happiness. He takes pleasure in knowing that he can contribute to your joy, that his actions can bring light into your life. His sacrifices are not burdensome to him. They are acts of love that he offers freely, without expectation of anything in return. He understands that love is a two-way street, and he is more than willing to give as much as he receives. He shares that he truly wants what is best for you, even if it means putting aside his own desires temporarily. This kind of support is a powerful testament to his love, as it shows that he truly wants what is best for you, even if it requires him to make adjustments or compromises. One of the most profound signs of a man's love is the respect he shows you. Respect is the foundation of true love, for without it, affection cannot last. When a man loves you, he respects you as an individual, your opinions, your decisions, your space, and your boundaries. He sees you not as an extension of himself, but as a complete person with your own dreams, thoughts, and desires. His respect is evident in the way he listens to you, taking your words seriously and valuing your perspective. He acknowledges that your voice matters just as much as his. Respect in a relationship goes beyond mere politeness. It is about recognizing and honoring your individuality. A man who loves you does not try to control or change you. Instead, he supports you in being the best version of yourself. He encourages you to pursue your passions and respects your right to make your own choices. He understands that true love is about supporting each other's growth, not limiting or stifling it. His respect for you is shown through his actions, how he speaks to you, how he handles disagreements, and how he treats you in front of others. In times of conflict, a loving man's respect becomes even more apparent. He does not belittle you, raise his voice, or use hurtful words to win an argument. Instead, he listens with an open heart and mind, willing to understand your side of the story. He values your feelings and considers them before making decisions that affect both of you. Even when he disagrees, he does so respectfully, without diminishing your worth. His love does not seek to dominate, it seeks to uplift and empower. Respect also shows up in the way he protects your dignity, both in private and in public. He does not speak poorly of you to others, nor does he make jokes at your expense. Instead, he honors your presence and treats you with care. He defends you when necessary and stands by you, even when you are not around. This kind of respect is a clear sign that his love is rooted in a deep appreciation for who you are, not just what you can provide for him. Ultimately, respect is what transforms a relationship from mere attraction into a deep, lasting connection. It is a sign that he sees you as an equal partner, worthy of his time, attention, and care. When a man loves you with respect, he is showing you that he values your entire being, your strengths, your vulnerabilities, and everything in between. It is in this respect that true love finds its strength and its beauty. A man who truly loves you will naturally feel a desire to protect you. This protective instinct is not about control or dominance. It is about care and concern for your well-being. When a man loves you, he wants to ensure that you are safe, both physically and emotionally. He steps in when he senses danger or discomfort, not because he thinks you are incapable, but because he values your safety above all else. This sign of love is a deep-rooted instinct, one that comes from a place of genuine affection and devotion. Protection can manifest in many different ways. It might be as simple as offering you his jacket when you are cold, or as profound as standing up for you when others try to bring you down. It is in the way he notices when you are feeling uneasy and does what he can to alleviate your discomfort. He cares about your emotional safety too, shielding you from unnecessary stress and supporting you when you feel overwhelmed. His protective nature is not about limiting your freedom, but about creating a safe space where you can thrive. Desire to protect you is also evident in how he handles your heart, or not settled in perplexity and experience, knowing that they have the power to hurt or heal. Instead, he treats your emotions with the utmost security and trust in the relationship. He carries you in his backpack to unseen spaces. He is self-controlling, curious, and susceptible to control. Ultimately, a man's protective nature is a clear sign of his love. It shows that he values your well-being and is willing to take action to ensure it. It is not about grand heroic acts. Rather, it is in the small, everyday ways he looks out for you. His love manifests in the way he holds you close, shields you from harm, and reassures you that he will always be there. It is a love that says, "I am here for you, no matter what." Trust is the bedrock of any meaningful relationship, and when a man loves you, he demonstrates it through his unwavering trust. He believes in you, your decisions, your judgment, and your ability to handle life's challenges. His trust is not conditional. It does not fluctuate based on circumstances. Instead, it is a steady, reliable presence that makes you feel secure and valued. This kind of trust is a powerful sign of his love, for it shows that he sees you as an equal, worthy of his confidence. A man who loves you does not feel the need to control you or constantly check up on you. He respects your independence and trusts that you are capable of making the right choices. He does not question your every move or doubt your intentions. Instead, he gives you the space to be yourself, knowing that true love cannot exist without freedom. His trust allows you to breathe, to grow, and to feel secure in the knowledge that you are loved for who you are, not for what you do or don't do. Trust also means being vulnerable with you. When a man loves you, he opens up and shares parts of himself that he might keep hidden from the rest of the world. He trusts you with his secrets, his fears, and his dreams. This kind of emotional transparency is a clear sign of love, because it shows that he feels safe enough with you to let down his guard. He is willing to be seen, flaws and all, because he knows that your love is strong enough to handle it. Moreover, a man's trust in you is reflected in the way he includes you in his life. He seeks your input on important decisions, values your advice, and respects your opinions. He trusts your perspective and believes that you have his best interests at heart. This mutual trust strengthens the bond between you, creating a partnership based on equality and shared respect. It is a sign that his love is not just an emotion, but a deep, abiding faith in who you are. When a man truly loves, he shows it through his willingness to make sacrifices. This does not mean grand gestures alone. It is often seen in the everyday moments where he chooses your happiness over his own convenience. Sacrifice is a form of love that goes beyond words. It is the silent, unspoken language of putting someone else's needs before your own. A man who loves you is willing to inconvenience himself for your comfort. It is happy to do so. This kind of love is not forced or done with reluctance. It comes naturally from a place of deep affection. Love expressed through sacrifice shows in the small things, like when he gives up a personal plan because he knows you need his presence more at that moment. It is in the way he compromises on decisions, not out of weakness, but out of a desire to see you happy. He does not view these sacrifices as burdens because your joy and well-being are his priorities. In his mind, the small discomforts he endures are a small price to pay for the happiness of someone he loves dearly. Sacrifice is also about showing up, even when it is not easy. It's about being there when he is tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, yet choosing to be present for you because he knows that love requires effort. He may sacrifice his time, sleep, or comfort, but he does it willingly because he values the relationship. It is in these moments of selflessness that his love shines the brightest. He understands that love is an action, not just a feeling, and that true love is demonstrated through the sacrifices he is willing to make. Another profound sign of sacrifice in love is his readiness to put your needs above his own without expecting anything in return. He does not keep a scorecard or hold his sacrifices over your head. Instead, he gives freely because he cares more about the relationship than his own ego or desires. It is not about losing something, but about gaining a deeper connection with you. His love becomes a source of strength, allowing him to let go of personal wants because he finds fulfillment in your shared happiness. In the end, the willingness to sacrifice is one of the clearest signs of a man's love. It is a love that does not hesitate to take a step back so that you can take a step forward. It shows that he is not just in the relationship for what he can get, but for what he can give. This kind of love is rare and precious, for it reveals a heart that is selfless, kind, and truly committed. It is a love that speaks louder than any words ever could, proving that his devotion is real and enduring. Consistency is a hallmark of true love. When a man loves you, his actions are steady and reliable, not swayed by mood or circumstance. He does not love you one day and act distant the next. His affection, care, and attention remain constant, providing a sense of stability in the relationship. This consistency is a sign of his commitment and his willingness to be there for you no matter what. It shows that his love is not fleeting but grounded in a deep, unwavering devotion. A consistent man does not let external pressures dictate his treatment of you. He treats you with the same love and care whether things are going well or when life gets tough. His love is like a safe harbor, a place you can rely on even when the storms of life rage around you. He makes an effort every day, not just when it is convenient or easy. This kind of consistency builds trust, as it shows that his love is dependable, not based on fleeting emotions, but on a firm commitment. Consistency also manifests in his words and promises. A man who loves you does not make empty promises, he follows through on what he says. His words match his actions, and he does not leave you wondering where you stand. This reliability is a sign of respect and consideration, as he understands that love is about more than just expressing feelings. It is about showing up and keeping his word. His love is not about grand declarations, but about the little things he does consistently to show he cares. In a world full of uncertainty, a consistent man provides a sense of security. His love is a constant force, something you can lean on when everything else feels unstable. He does not allow misunderstandings or conflicts to disrupt the foundation of the relationship. Instead, he works through challenges with patience and care, knowing that love requires effort and perseverance. His consistency reassures you that he is in this for the long haul, that he will not waver or abandon the relationship when times get hard. Ultimately, consistency is the quiet, everyday proof of his love. It is seen in his daily actions, the small gestures that show he cares, even when there is no special occasion. He checks in on you, makes time for you, and prioritizes you in his life. This kind of love is not flashy or dramatic, it is steady and reliable. It is a love you can count on, and it is one of the clearest signs that he truly loves you with a commitment that goes beyond momentary emotions. Patience is another clear sign of a man's love. When he loves you, he is willing to wait, to understand, and to give you the time and space you need. He does not rush you into making decisions or force you to move at his pace. Instead, he respects your timing and meets you where you are. His patience shows his maturity and his willingness to nurture the relationship without putting pressure on you. It is a sign that he values your comfort and peace of mind over his own desires. Patience in love means giving you room to be yourself, even when it takes time to open up fully. A man who loves you does not get frustrated when you need time to heal from past hurts or when you take longer to make decisions. He understands that everyone has their own pace and that forcing things would only damage the trust between you. His patience is a testament to his love because it shows that he is willing to invest time in building a strong foundation for your relationship. This patience also extends to how he handles conflicts. He does not react impulsively or let his emotions get the best of him. Instead, he takes the time to listen, to understand your perspective, and to work through issues together. He is not quick to judge or make assumptions. He gives you the benefit of the doubt and believes in finding solutions rather than placing blame. His patience shows that he values the relationship more than being right, and he is willing to put in the effort to resolve differences. Patience is also reflected in his willingness to wait for the right moment. He does not pressure you into major life decisions like moving in together, getting married, or starting a family. He is not focused on his own timeline. Instead, he considers your readiness and comfort. His love is not about rushing into milestones, but about enjoying the journey together at a pace that feels right for both of you. This kind of patience is a sign of his deep respect for your individuality and your shared future. Vulnerability is a profound sign of true love. When a man loves you deeply, he opens up parts of himself that he usually keeps hidden from the world. Love has a way of breaking down the walls we put up to protect ourselves, and in its place, a new kind of intimacy emerges. A man who is willing to be vulnerable with you is showing a significant level of trust. He lets you see his insecurities, his fears, and his dreams without the mask of perfection. This openness is a sign of deep emotional investment, indicating that he values the connection you share. When he allows himself to be vulnerable, it shows that he feels safe with you. It is not easy for most men to expose their emotions, as society often conditions them to be strong and stoic. However, a man in love will drop these societal expectations and let you in. He may share stories from his past moments of doubt, or the things that scare him most about the future. He is not afraid to cry in front of you or admit when he feels overwhelmed. This honesty and rawness are clear indicators of his love because it takes immense courage to let someone see you so fully. Vulnerability also manifests in his willingness to admit his mistakes. A man who loves you does not need to always be right. Instead, he prioritizes the health of the relationship over his ego. He can apologize when he is wrong and acknowledges his flaws without defensiveness. His vulnerability is a sign of his emotional maturity and his understanding that love is about growth. He is not afraid to show that he is still a work in progress because he trusts that you will accept him, as he is, imperfections and all. Another way vulnerability shows in love is through his willingness to express his deepest fears. He may share his concerns about the future, his doubts about his own abilities, or the things he struggles with internally. These admissions are not signs of weakness, rather, they are powerful demonstrations of his love and trust in you. He does not hide behind a facade of confidence. He lets you see the real him, even when it is not flattering. This kind of honesty deepens the emotional bond between you, as it shows he feels comfortable enough to be his true self. In essence, vulnerability is one of the most beautiful signs of love. It is a declaration that he trusts you enough to be himself without reservation. It is an invitation to see his soul and connect on a level that goes beyond physical attraction or superficial conversation. When he is vulnerable with you, he is giving you a gift, a glimpse into his most authentic self. This kind of love is rare and precious because it requires a willingness to risk being hurt for the sake of genuine connection. And it is through this vulnerability that the deepest, most lasting bonds are formed. The final and perhaps most telling sign of a man's love is his commitment. Love is not just a fleeting emotion or a passing phase for him. It is a deep, enduring promise that he makes to himself and to you. A committed man does not view love as temporary or conditional. He sees it as a lifelong journey that requires effort, patience, and dedication. He is not easily swayed by the ups and downs of life or the challenges that inevitably arise in an end relationship. His love is steadfast, rooted in a decision he has made to stand by you, no matter what. Commitment is shown through his actions over time. It is not about the grand gestures he makes once in a while, but about the consistency of his effort. He makes it clear that he is here to stay, that he is invested in the relationship for the long run. Even when things get tough, when arguments happen, or when life gets stressful, he does not waver. He is there holding your hand through the storms, because he knows that love is about weathering challenges together, not walking away when things get hard. A man's commitment is also evident in the plans he makes for the future. He includes you in his long-term goals and dreams because he envisions a life with you by his side. He talks about the years ahead with a sense of excitement and hope, and he works hard to build a foundation for that shared future. He does not shy away from discussing serious topics like marriage, family, or shared financial goals. This shows that he is not afraid of the responsibilities that come with a committed relationship. Instead, he embraces them as part of building a life with someone he loves deeply. His commitment is also demonstrated in the way he prioritizes you. He makes time for you even when he is busy, and he puts effort into keeping the romance alive. He listens to your needs, respects your boundaries, and makes sure you feel valued and cherished. He does not take you for granted or treat the relationship as an afterthought. Instead, he shows every day in both big and small ways that he is committed to making the relationship work. His love is not passive, it is active and intentional, a choice he makes every single day. In the end, deep commitment is the truest sign of a man's love. It is not about words or promises, it is about the actions he takes day in and day out to show that he is all in. It is a love that endures, that does not falter in the face of adversity. This kind of commitment is rare and precious, for it requires a heart that is willing to give, to sacrifice, and to choose love every single day. And when you find a man who loves you with this kind of unwavering commitment, you know you have found something truly special.